The Stack. People, Business, Technology. With Dan Tomaszewski of Everything MSP.
Hello, everybody. Dan Tomaszewski here with Everything MSP. Welcome to another episode of The Stack, where we focus on people, business, and technology. In this week's episode, we're going to be digging into a pain point that is critical for every MSP. Every MSP knows all too well, and that's internet reliability. So client loses internet, they panic, and who's the first one they call? You, the MSP. So we are going to talk a lot about that. I have the man, Mr. Leonard. I almost just said your name wrong.
It happens all the time.
Oh my gosh.
Leonard DiMiceli.
DiMiceli. I was going to call you DiCiceli.
Close, but pretty far.
Yeah.
But I like the
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah. It's amazing. We're here live at PAX 8. I've been doing, recording after recording after recording, and I couldn't say DiMiceli. Or DiMiceli.
You just did.
I just
You
did.
nailed it.
You got it.
Yeah.
Perfect. That is awesome.
It's how you end. It's how we finish, right?
That is true. And of course, Leonard is with RYTHMz, and this is where we should cue in the rhythms of the night music, right? Boom, boom, boom. Of course, we got Talon over here probably laughing at us. And
Look at these guys.
exactly. But this has been a great event. We were just talking about, all the excitement that you guys saw at your booth by, MSPs coming up, learning about exactly what we're talking here.
Sure.
Internet reliability.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the opportunity that exists when it comes to 5G. So, but first off, welcome. Thank you for being here. Maybe give an overview. I mean, you've been in the industry, quite a while, and I'm not trying to date you by any means, but yeah,
It's there. It's there.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
And but maybe give a little overview for anybody that is not familiar with how long you've been in the channel and what you're currently doing right now at RYTHMz.
Perfect. So, yes, I've been in the channel for quite some time. I started in the industry with a MSP called
Wow.
Started with an MSP in Orange County.
Yeah.
At in-house IT was the MSP name 15 years ago. That's why I forgot.
Yes.
So in-house IT MSP. Out of that MSP, the CEO started along with me a company called SpamSo. So
Yeah.
I went from being an MSP to working and selling to MSPs and services.
Okay.
MSPs. So I think I've got and founder two C's. They came from in-house IT as well. Been in the MSPs, bought and sold MSPs a few times now. So both of us, some of the leaders at RYTHMz, pedigree, our DNA is the channel. So
Yeah.
been in this space, been at multiple vendors, been serving and speaking and part of the community for, like I said, 15 years now. Been at RYTHMz for the last 9 months. Steve called me probably about 16 months ago as he was kind of incubating and he was getting closer and closer to launching the company.
Yeah.
And him and I were, consulting and, hey, this is what I'm thinking. This is where I want to go. This is the go-to-market strategy. And then September of last year, he said, hey, dude, now's the time. And I was in the channel. I was director of VAR channels for ESET. And I said, yeah, I think you're right. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Him and I have done it before, and we're doing it again.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's really, I've said this multiple times to people who I've known. I'm like, what are you doing? What's going on? And the business is growing. We're having success. But in that, there's a lot of operational, problems and sales problems and all good. Steve's amazing. But it's man, it doesn't stop. It's a grind.
So let's talk about 5G and let's talk about the opportunity that exists for MSPs today.
So it's interesting. Reliability is essential now, right? As an MSP, you all know you're giving, you're servicing your customers, and it's not like you guys are, on premise with Exchange servers, right? When you speak, Steve or I will say, hey, who in the crowd's still managing an Exchange server? And crazy enough, every once in a while, someone will raise your hand. Like, you serious still? But everything's in the cloud. So if everything's in the cloud, what do you need?
Right.
we need reliable connectivity. So, and you said it a minute ago when the call comes in that says, hey, the internet's down, they're calling you Mr. and Mrs. MSP as if it's your fault, or if you had nothing to do with it, right? You're not Spectrum or whoever. So yes, reliability is essential. We demand it. You require it. We're not offline. Everything's on right now.
Yeah.
Once our financial and CRM, everything went to the cloud, connectivity is important. And one of the things we like to say is the last mile. Take back the cloud, the last mile. And that's where we fit in, is the importance of connectivity, reliable connectivity.
Yeah.
And the fact that MSPs really aren't monetizing that.
And the opportunity to monetize that is pretty tremendous, right?
It's there. So, and I categorize it into two areas. You've got short-term and long-term. Short-term is like incident response.
Okay.
So someone gets hacked, your customer gets hacked, you bring down the network, you bring down the internet. And what do? You bring up ideally in a private internet, new internet connection, and same thing with the network.
Yeah. That's
where we would fit in. Quick, easy, and I'll describe the box and the product in a minute. Or even like emergency response. So someone cuts the fiber in.
Right.
We don't have internet. A fire. Never does someone say, hey, you wouldn't believe it, someone just cut the fiber outside.
Yeah.
Happens all the time. Fires, whatever the incident or accident emergency is, you get that call and says, hey, we can't get internet now, help you. So we can provide that really quick solution for you by providing an internet in a box, and we'll get to that in a minute. So those are, some of the short, emergency type of responses. But events, we'll probably talk a bunch about events.
Yeah.
Events is something you as MSPs are not taking advantage of.
Right.
You're not asking the questions to your customer of, hey, do you do an event? And when you do the event, who's doing the internet? And are you in that? Are you monetizing that that internet?
Yep.
And it could be as much as $1,000 a day that you can take advantage of, that you can be part of. So it's, when you say, is it real? It's $1 million. It's a huge opportunity for you. And I personally will help you monetize it. I'll help you do with some go-to-market strategies, with websites, with collateral, really help you get some ideas of where to look, how to look, what questions to ask, and maybe even what customers to deal with first.
Okay. So let's talk about the hardware. I do want to jump back to events after you talk about hardware, because I think there's, like you said, there's tremendous opportunity there. But what are we talking about when you're looking at the hardware?
Sure. So if you're familiar with a Pelican case, it looks very similar to a Pelican case. And in the Pelican case, it has a router, has SD-WAN, and then it has a bonded SIM card, 3 bonded SIM cards. Okay. And they're truly bonded, which means all 3 providers, it's AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile, all 3 are sending traffic.
Okay.
Right? They're live. It's not on standby. AT&T goes down, and Verizon, wakes up and says, okay, now go. They're all going live. So it's, the hardware is a router, SD-WAN with bonded SIM cards, 3 different providers, AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, and then an antenna.
Okay.
And so it was funny because someone at the booth there said, so what's this? And I said, it's the internet. He's like, all the internet? I said, it's the internet. Yeah. So, and it's literally, and I wish I would have had the box, and I'm sorry I don't. It has power on one side. You power the thing in, power the thing in, and literally you're hitting the button.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
And within minutes, you're broadcasting, you got internet.
Wow.
Internet, the 5G Wi-Fi is live.
Yeah.
And what we do on the back end is and this is as easy as it gets. It's, you call us, email us, and say, I want this SSID and I want this password.
Okay.
And that's
it.
So when you're doing these events, you can monetize the setup. You can have the setup fee, you can have the managed fee, and the cost of the event.
Right.
So there's money to be made, but it's a super easy solution. It truly is internet in a box.
Okay. So let's jump to events. We're at an event. Of course, the event provides some kind of internet, but as we all know, it's really very expensive. But also, we talked about the reliability.
Yeah.
Many of us know firsthand that there's going to be some type of issue.
Mm-hmm.
So where does the MSP, see this as a use case for that.
Yeah. So some of the stats and data we've collected is so reliability is essential. Downtime for SMBs extremely expensive. Enterprise is even crazier. So we're getting data that says around $8,000 to $74,000 an hour.
Okay.
Downtime cost, and then enterprise starting around 100,000 and then scaling up much bigger per hour, and their average downtime is 90 minutes. So you do the math, and it's a big problem.
Yeah.
Right. It gets quite expensive. So downtime's expensive. When you look at events, now looking at specifically for events, we trade sometimes sponsorships for events, but we're finding an event can cost $1,000 a day.
Okay. Yeah.
And if you're in Vegas, it can be more.
Right.
If you're, depending on what location. And what we found is MSPs typically have no reason to ask the customer or even look for an event because they haven't had a product to sell.
Right.
But this is something that you can monetize. So an event we did was a bigger event. Internet that they were asking for was $8,000 for 3 days. And we did it for them. It was 3 boxes. We did it for them for $1,500. And that was the cost to the MSP was $1,500. And so $8,000 minus $1,500.
Yeah.
I think that's decent margin.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's for a weekend.
Yeah.
And that wasn't.
I wouldn't take that.
But you don't know that's there, and you haven't looked.
Right.
You haven't had a reason to ask. So yes, you can take it. And
Yeah.
once you know it now, please call me. Let's engage because I can help you identify in your customer base who may be that kind of a lower hanging fruit to ask these questions.
I mean, I think some MSPs might say it sounds like it's going to take a lot of work. Talk about the SIM. I mean, you talk about the provider, but let's talk about the SIM card. I mean, is there DCs that they even get?
So that box that I've described, which I had here, it has everything you need. So you're not bringing anything. I bring the router, the SD-WAN, the SIM cards are ours.
Okay.
So speaking of the SIM cards, in the SIM card world, there's a hierarchy of priority.
Yep.
You have EMT, first responders have the highest priority, as they should.
Yep.
Under that is our card. So the general public is somewhere down here. Our cards are up here, and then you have first responders. So our cards that we bring, that you get with the box, no additional cost, it's all included. SIM cards are unlimited priority cards.
Okay.
So it's like some of the benefits is, do you want to be talking to AT&T, Verizon, Spectrum when you don't have that relationship with the scale I do?
Yeah.
Of course, you'd rather have me do it.
Right.
So the SIM cards are ours. You don't bring them. They are a higher priority and unlimited data per month.
Okay. So we're not talking about a lot of effort at all.
No, and I don't want to oversimplify it, but it is super easy. It's literally, you call us, you get the SSID as a password. We do a pre-deployment call, and in the pre-deployment call, we do that.
Okay.
And you're literally plugging 110 power in, hit the power button on, and within 5, maybe 10 minutes, SSID comes up, you log in, and it's live.
So
you're not tinkering with it at all.
Okay.
If you're tinkering with it, something bad happened, something went wrong.
Okay.
And does that happen? Very seldomly. It's literally turn power on.
Okay. What are some other use cases besides defense that make sense for whiskey?
Construction sites are great.
Okay.
Construction sites are great. When I was just talking to an MSP at the event here at PAX 8, he brought it up. He's like, "Yeah, I've got these construction sites." So if you think of a construction site, the purpose they want internet is they got cameras. Cameras to protect the property and protect the assets.
Okay.
They've got big equipment. They got trailers. Also sending files right there.
Yeah.
They're doing work email. So the trailer moves throughout the project. Right. So the trailer's in the back right, in the middle of the project's in the center, and by the end, it's all the way up on the curb somewhere. And that's fantastic. Our box, all I need is power, and it moves with the trailer.
Right.
So a construction site's a beautiful one. we have another really interesting. Anytime there's a compliance and they have reliability is a requirement.
Okay.
We have 3 SIM cards in it, so 3 different internet providers in
Right.
it. So
Right.
we've got use cases, a dental surgery center. They're live doing surgery 6 days a week, and they need to have internet live. And so they're paying. They've got 3 of them. They're paying for our box to be at each location. So in the event one provider goes down, like I said earlier, it's live. They're hot. They're sending traffic. It's not cold. Wait a minute, get over.
Yeah.
So during surgery, if something happens, the internet's live. It goes from AT&T immediately to Verizon.
Okay.
So you have, excuse me, you have events, you have construction sites, and then the lowest of hanging fruits is the oh crap, internet went down and I need an immediate response and I need to provide.
Yeah.
And we talked about it a little bit ago, where you have possession of this box and you're literally delivering it to them.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So that's a use case. Yeah, those are some of the easiest ones. Failover is another one.
Okay.
I've got primary internet and I want backup. I
Right.
want a different switch. I want a different internet provider in the event my primary is.
Okay. That sounds incredible. And I think, when you think about it, why are MSPs not taking more advantage of this? Does it just seem like, they're just nerve it?
I think it's multifold. I think it just hasn't been priority,
Okay.
right? You've got cybersecurity, you've got AI. There's a lot of noise,
Yeah.
right? And this hasn't. I don't think there's been a revival go to market prior to Steve Miller's brought a product to market for the MSP world. So it just hasn't been readily available. So in their defense, they just didn't know. Right, there wasn't a solution. Yeah, there's these MiFi or hotspot things that kind of might work, but really they're one provider.
They don't have the same higher level priority.
They don't have high priority. They don't have unlimited data, and you're having to take a call from, or you're having to make the call to AT&T,
Right.
and you're just this
Yeah.
small mom and pop. They're like,
Yeah.
wait for 45 minutes. So I think they didn't know.
Right.
Right, it's definitely there, and I think it just hasn't been a priority because you're looking at other like AI or even cybersecurity is making a lot of noise.
Gotcha. So, I guess another question for you is anything new that you guys are adding? Because I think we talked a little bit about some of your carriers.
Yeah, so we launched with a hardware product, and we launched with limited carriers.
Okay.
So what we're now at is carrier agnostic. So we've got 3 carriers, and we're looking to launch another, and we're looking to launch eSIM. So we're right now US based. I can't help you if you're in Canada, can't help you from South America, but that's changing rapidly. We're coming out with, so we'll have eSIM cards so we can then provide outside of the United States. And then the other, which is the newest, is so carrier agnostic, and then now we'll be hardware agnostic. So we'll have more hardware options for MSPs. So carrier and hardware agnostic.
Okay. So for an MSP, are there any special opportunities, special features that you have available for them?
Yeah. So if you're a friend of Dan and you're listening to this podcast, I'll give you 2 POCs, free POCs in a year.
Okay. So a proof of concept.
A proof of concept. I will ship it to you and I'll take it back, no cost.
Okay.
So I was talking to a guy today, and he goes, I just don't know. I just don't know if it's going to be a good fit. I don't know if I don't know if we'll get service, and I don't know if they'll bite off on it. And I said, how about this? I'll send it to you. You deliver it. You see if we get good internet.
Yeah.
You show them. And if we get good internet, fantastic. If not, you return the thing back. So I'll give you a raise. I would say, no, you want it? So absolutely. So anyone listening here, viewing, I'll give you 2 POCs within the first year and give you an opportunity to test this and get a good test run.
Yeah.
Try it out. Does it work? Is it as good as I'm saying? If not, just send the thing back and it's just, you're out some time.
So let's talk. I mean, obviously you've been in the space for quite some time. Let's talk a little bit something outside the realm. What do you say would be the biggest challenge that MSPs are facing with today that they need to overcome to help grow your business?
God, it could be a couple. You see consolidation. You see they typically been an MSP and then been in the space. Typically, MSPs are amazing technicians. Right? They can service customers better than you.
Yeah.
Growing a business, sales, marketing, acquisitions, selling.
There's a lot of hats right there.
There's a lot of hats. I did go to business school.
Right.
I did selling. Holy crap, it's scary.
Yeah.
Marketing, I don't know how to say it. So I think that's challenging. You've got a hyper complex, evolving rapidly environment with AI crazily disruptive.
Right.
Right. And you're supposed to always,
Yeah.
it's not easy.
I'm juggling.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then you've got consolidation and with community
Right.
with, cybersecurity companies buying cybersecurity.
Right.
So you've got a lot of consolidation
Exactly.
and you're managing vendor management. It's a lot.
Yeah. Well, of course, for someone that wants to learn more about RYTHMz, what's the best way to reach out?
So www.rythmz.com, or I will give you my personal cell phone.
Nice.
760-696-5118. Reach out to me directly. Text me. Call me. Go to our website and there's a form you can fill out, get more information.
Yeah.
That get to someone on my team. But if you're watching this, I just gave you my cell phone. Reach out to me directly and say, hey, I want those 2 POCs and I start to get one. In order to start with us,
Yeah.
we have an MSA,
Okay.
Master Services.
Yeah.
That thing is super easy. That basically says, Dan, that box is mine, yours,
Right.
and you're
That's
leasing it. Exactly. And you're leasing it on behalf of your customer.
Yeah.
You're not buying it. And it then allows me to send you a POC. And one really interesting thing is we're starting to do some lead gen, and leads will go to partners that we have in those geos.
Yeah.
So no minimums. I'm not, and you sign up with me, which are going to make you do this. I can make you sign up with me after this.
Yeah.
Just joking. Yeah. Hard sell. Find out. So once you sign up, there's no minimum.
Yeah.
I'm not saying once you sign that agreement, you're going to take possession of one immediately.
Right.
No, let's do some account mappings. Let's do some strategies. I will personally help you with some good market strategies. So make it easy. I feel like I know the MSP and how they want to be treated at service. So make it easy. So got the website, you got my cell phone.
Awesome. Leonard, as always, I want to thank you for your time. It's always great to chat, but also learn more about the great things that you guys are doing at RYTHMz. So
Thank you.
for everybody out there listening, thank you very much for being here. Until next time, we will talk to you soon. Take care, everybody.
Thank you for listening to The Stack.